Excuse me. Hi, I'm Jennifer Schultz.
And I'm Paul Schultz, and
We're
we're
a couple of beers. Stay with us because coming up next, we're going to visit one of our very favorite local breweries for a very special Oktoberfest celebration.
First,
Oktoberfest season in Cincinnati is a big deal.
it really is. It seems like it goes on for weeks and weeks. The first one is got to be the Germania Society of Cincinnati, and their Oktoberfest is the last weekend in August,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes clear up to the first weekend in October where the Donnerschwaben Festival takes place. And it's really wild. There's something all 6 weeks going on during that time.
Some are larger and some are smaller, but they all have one thing in common, and that's Gemütlichkeit.
That's right. Everybody is having a great time and celebrating, and we want to bring you with us to one of our favorite local breweries, MPH Brewing in Montgomery, Ohio. So come along and let's check out their festival. Big game. Well, it was a really rainy day at Montgomery Oktoberfest at MPH, but that didn't keep anybody from having a good time, did it?
No, not at all. And prayers for everyone affected by Hurricane Helene.
But as I said, the rain didn't keep us from having a good time
Not at all.
at Montgomery Oktoberfest, and it all started with a euchre tournament in the Fest House. And we would have played, except we have this thing. See, we both like playing euchre, but we also care about our marriage, right?
Right. So we don't play together as partners.
No, we avoid that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%. Speaking of cards, there was a table magician who walked around and did these amazing, crazy tricks for everybody.
And that was kind of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. There was a stilt walker in German dress, and he juggled, and he was bringing cars in and people in. There was a class on beer history, and even a spoon player.
Yeah, that was really neat.
Yeah, that was really cool.
There were, of course, traditional Oktoberfest games, like the keg roll, and a pretzel eating contest, and a stein lift.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite, even though I wasn't very good at it, was the pretzel toss.
Yeah, how'd you do?
Well, it depends. See, I had a teammate who was the tosser, and I'm not sure she was...
I think she did fine. I think you moved too much.
We had fun anyway, didn't
Yes, we sure did. We sure did. So there was a lot of music. There was a traditional German horn band that was there, and they were great. And then in the evening, there was an untraditional band called the Paddywhackers, and they're a band of Germans who play Irish music, which was really different, and it was cool. Lots of people singing along and having a good time.
Yeah, and they are presented a halfway to St. Patrick's Day concert.
That was unique.
Yeah, it sure was. My favorite, though, has got to be, I got to have my picture taken with the Hoff. The life-size David Hasselhoff is just, he's huge in Germany, you know that.
Yes, absolutely. So people of all ages and backgrounds coming together and celebrating, and it was just a really good time. I could tell people there were food trucks and beer drinking, and people just had an amazing time. Lots of beer.
Lots of beer, and it was great. We had, there was a Doppelbock, and a Festbier, and the traditional Märzens Oktoberfest, and they were all really good.
All delicious. Absolutely delicious. Märzen or Märzen beer is a lager that originated in Bavaria, Germany, when a brewing ordinance decreed in 1553 by Duke Albrecht V declared that no brewing was to be done during the summer months between Michaelmas and St. George's Day. That's April 24th to September 28th. This was done in order to keep the beer from spoiling in the heat.
Yeah, that's right. And as a result, Märzen beer was born. Now, Märzen is the German word for March, and that's the time that the beer is brewed. It has balanced hop levels, it's malty, and its slightly higher alcohol content allows the beer to last in that lagering process while the new brewing of new beer was prohibited. So during the summer, the beer was allowed to lager in ice-filled beer cellars.
Lager is the German word for warehouse. Lager beers are stored for extended periods at cooler temperatures.
And that's a really good point. We should talk about this because it really all comes down to yeast. Now, in the production of beer, yeast consumes sugar and produces alcohol and carbon dioxide. But the truth is, there are two main strains for brewing beer, and so really only two types of beer, or two families of beer.
Saccharomyces cerevisiae, that's the ale yeast. It's a top fermenting. It ferments at warmer temperatures between 68 and 72 degrees. It's the oldest yeast that's been used for brewing, 20,000 years. Saccharomyces pastörianus, which is the lager yeast, it's bottom fermenting. It's fermenting at colder temperatures. It's basically the new kid on the block, about 500 years.
Okay, and let's talk about temperature and fermentation. In general, when we add heat to a reaction, we
speed up the process.
Generally, we'd speed up the process.
Mm-hmm.
So when ale yeast ferments, that top fermenting yeast at the warmer temperatures, it's doing it at a faster process, and so we tend to get big fruity esters or spicy phenols from the yeast, from the fermentation. And where a lager yeast, which is bottom fermenting in the cold or cooler temperatures, is a much slower process, and so we get less of those kind of fermentation notes. So lagers tend to be very clean.
So, lagers are now the top-selling beer in the market around the world.
Cool, clean, refreshing, delicious, easy drinking, all the things that people appreciate about a good lager. Okay, and speaking of Märzen, that brings us to Oktoberfest at MPH, which is their traditional Märzen beer. And I've already had it, but since we've been reviewing Cincinnati Oktoberfest beers, we thought we wanted to have one of our favorites from MPH. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, this Märzen is a 5.7% ABV.
So sessionable?
Sessionable, absolutely. The IBUs are 27, so it's a little high for a Märzen, but...
Okay. A little lighter in color.
Yeah.
But we said that's typical of American versions.
Look at that pretty color.
Gold. It is gorgeous. And on the nose, there is a floral hop that I don't remember getting in the beers that we had before. Right? I'm getting floral notes. Not strong, but
no,
almost a little clover.
Oh, yeah?
The nose. Yeah.
Honey?
And a little bit of toast. Shall we?
We shall.
Prost.
Prost.
Oh, that's good. I get a lot of malt flavor, but this is of the Oktoberfest beers we've tried. This is the hoppiest.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's the hoppiest.
I got loads of
this.
Go ahead.
Crispness to it.
It finishes nice and dry, but do you get that floral sense I was talking about?
Yes.
Like I picked that up on the nose, and I definitely get that now in the flavor.
Would that be the hop that we're getting?
Yeah.
The floral?
That kind of, and earthy tones too. So, again, it's a sweet beer, but it's so balanced. The hop and the dryness really wash away, kind of cancel out that sweetness. Yeah, that's good. Well, I think we can make our judgment, don't you?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're going to finish these.
Maybe have a little more.
Maybe. And here are our scores. Now, when we begin our review of Cincinnati Festbiers, Oktoberfest beers, we were focusing on Märzens, but we didn't have only Märzens.
We had Festbiers.
We did have Festbiers, and Festbiers in America and in Munich, really, since the 1990s, has been kind of the official drink of Oktoberfest. It's lighter.
Mhm.
It's a little lighter in body, and you can
Bit more
see
of it.
here that true to style, it's a nice gold color. It's a little lighter, but what in alcohol?
It's a 5.5%.
Okay.
And the IBU on this one is 17.
Okay, so definitely less hops.
Yes, less hop,
Okay.
less alcohol.
Okay. So we'll get a sense of this. This is MPH Festbier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what's on the nose here. Oh, very clean.
Mm-hmm. Smells.
I get less of the characteristic that I got in the
I don't
Märzens.
I don't get flour on that, like the Märzens.
Flour, you mean like
Floury, hoppy.
bready? Oh, you floral.
Floral. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what-
no, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Kelly?
Michelle, absolutely. Roast.
Oh, much lighter in body.
Oh, yes.
Not as characteristic, not as malty, not as hoppy
Not as hoppy. No.
as the Märzens. But again, these are different styles.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different guidelines between the
Mhm.
Märzens
Not the same
and the
beer.
Festbier, right?
Right.
So it's still very sessionable, but not nearly as characteristic as the Märzens. Would you agree?
I agree. Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite between the two of these?
I think I prefer the Festbier.
Do you really?
I do.
Well, I have to tell you, I prefer the Märzens.
Oh.
So after all these years of marriage, it's come down to this, right? She prefers the Festbier, I prefer the Märzens.
What
We
are we
were
gonna
doing
do?
so well, right, until just now, right?
Just now. Yeah. That's it.
Okay, no, that's this is delicious. Would you drink either of these again?
Oh, absolutely.
Would you recommend them
Absolutely.
for
100%.
session drinking?
Yep.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, let's tell them what we thought. MPH Festbier. Well, that about does it for our show today. A special thank you to MPH Brewing in Montgomery for having us. Now be sure to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future content.
And join us for our next episode, Beer Horror Stories, just in time for Halloween.
Woo! Until then, may your beers be cold.
And your bed to be warm.
Leo.